and city, state, zip is a variable. Now, what is the type of variable? Is it a numeric? Is it a string? What is the type of variable? For a simple reason, you can always treat every variable as a string as well. You can do it with a number, that is integer or numeric as well. You can create it in the way you want. So first is, I now have to create a data pool, select the project, right click, add test data pool. I am adding it now, right? So test data pool 1, you can give any name you want. You call it as address, right? You can give it any name. Next. Now, you can import the data from a CSV file, right? We'll do that little later. For that being, I'm creating manually the data. So I don't want to import it from any of the external files. So I want to manually create the data. So there is no file selected now. I just click on finish. Now data pool is created. You can see to the left address, and you can see to the right it is an editor window where it is available for user to edit this data set. In this data set, now I need to create 3 variables. One is for street, second is for name, third is for city, zip, right? So first is I create a name field, right click, select the data pool, right click, insert variable. So once you come to the editor window, select that editor, right click, insert variable. This is the place how you create a variable. Variables are nothing but parameterization candidates. If I have 5 parameterization candidates, 5 are independent by itself, I can create 5 variables. So insert, this is my variable name. What is the type? I give here name of the variable, I make it as name. Let it be a string. Is it a first variable? Yes, let it be. Next, I want to create one more variable. Right click, insert variable. This is for street. Let us only have these 2 variables now created. Is it before name or after name? I want that to be after name. So you can do it either first or you can make it as a after name. This is only for user flexibility. That's it. Next is I like to add a data. See, if you start trying to type it like Excel sheet, you cannot add the data. So this is like a counter. So the first is I need to initiate the counter. So right click, insert record. So insert record, I now from this insert, I now give any value I want to give here. So street name. So and so street name is Ant. Street is maybe hello. I want to add another record. Right click, add insert record. So whether you want to insert it before or you want to insert it after, so you can decide. So insert, say now software, name, street, Chennai, or I say India. Right? So now I have given 2 data sets to this. So you want to insert another record, you can insert. Right? Now I am inserting in between Ant and the software. I can say here training, RFT, street training. So this way I can create a record. Please note, you can always import the values in case if you want more data sets. Generally, the problem that beginners will do is they don't save this data set. You can see a star mark to the left. They generally don't save it. They go for script. They will start parameterizing the script. Then they will say, I am not able to see the parameter. I cannot parameterize. Then they will say, I have created the data pool, but I am not able to parameterize. First thing that you need to do is save it. This only now registers the data set into the address field. Now I like to parameterize. As I said earlier, you have created address, that's perfect. Which script needs to use this address? There are 4 scripts. Script 1, script 2, calculator, parameterization. Which script needs to use this data set? So that question can be answered only if you associate the data pool. Right? Right? Select the data pool, associate with script. Very important point, usually people forget this. Right? Very, very important point to be noted. So select address, that is the data pool. Right click, associate with script. I click on associate with script now. I'll open up now. You can see now all the script that we have created is appearing over here. So to which script I like to parameterize? This parameterization is the script for which I like to use this current data pool. I have selected parameterization. I have selected project 2 of course because I am inside this project 2. Parameterization is the script for which I like to use this current data pool. I say finish. Please note it again. Project 2, I have created a data pool. Select the project, right click, add test data pool. This is the place I create a data pool. After creation, can I create more data pool? Answer is yes, you can create more data pool. Once data pool is created, I come to the data pool, we create a data, save the data, then choose the data pool, associate with the script. This will make you to associate the script to the data pool to the exact script for which you want to map the data pool. I have done that. Finished. Now it is ready. Now how do I parameterize? Right? It is fine. It is very simple. We created it. We have mapped it. Right? To the script level. Now I need to come to the candidate level. This name. The data that I pass to the name is over here. So this data I like to parameterize. So _1 is the data. I want to pass it from my data pool candidate, parameterization candidate. Right? So how do I do? Very simple. If you know the scripting, you can type that. If you don't know the scripting, easiest way for initial beginners is go to the script, select the script, find literals and replace with the data pool reference. Now I'll go to the another script which we have created in the beginning, script 1. For this script 1, you can see now find literals and replace is not enabled. It is in the disabled mode. The reason is for this we have not associated the data pool. So for the script for which we have associated the data pool, that is parameterization.java. If I go to the script, you can see now find literals and replace with data pool reference is enabled. So in case if find literals is not enabled, you can rest assured that you have not mapped any data pool to this particular script. I hope this is making it clear. These are all the points which will act as a starting trouble when you are new to the conditional functional test. Right? We have done it. We have mapped. We are now ready for change. What is this? Find literals and replace with Datapool. All this blue color, Susan, Swansea, Ahmed, all these guys are nothing but a candidate. These are all what he means by literals. Now these literals are the guys which you can change. Right? So these literal values I can change. As a first step, I like to change it, this _1 with a new value. So that is my initial first level of changing the value. So when I try to do that, I go to here, script, find literal. Now you can see here in the name field, right, 105 is what he is trying to replace. That means this -1 is not available now. So you want to go backward, you can go backward. Right? Backward and do find. So he now finds this literal is a probable candidate that you can change. Please note he is changing including the code. Which the codes also is part of the replacing candidate. So which field is name? So Datapool variable, if I work on it, drop down, you can see name and string both are appearing. I want to make the name, I make it as a replace. Once you do the replace, you can see now how the value is changed. DP string, DP is for Datapool, string is the type of variable, DP string is the value that I like to change. With what parameter? DP string is referring to now Datapool. What is the value that is candidate that we want to change? Name is the candidate that I want to retrieve from the Datapool. Now I like to move forward. I click on forward. I use find. Now you can see that he is moving from 114 to 105. He has moved now to the next possible candidate. 105 is not the candidate that I like to replace. I like to replace two candidates. So now you can see he has selected the two. I click on find, that's all. For the two candidates, I like to now choose street. And then sometimes what people generally do is they select the street, they will just click on close. They will not apply the replace button. If I don't apply the replace button, the change doesn't reflect in the script. The DP string within the bracket the candidate name. So it is also called variable name. So now after I click on replace, you can see now DP string street is appearing. So this is the value that I like to change. That's perfect, fine. Now I have taken two things. One, the name field, I have two records. So if I go to the test parameter pool, test data pool, I have three records. And three records, name is the candidate I have parameterized to the name field. And then the street field has replaced with the street candidate. So this is my DP string candidate. So please note, in this DP string, I am not telling him which data pool he has to use. Because it is clear that the associate data pool takes care of, by default, the data pool used with address. So I don't have to declare it here anywhere that I need to use data pool. Address is the data pool that I need to use for this script. That is the reason I said only one data pool can be mapped to a script. Excuse me. Right? This is how you configure the data pool to the script. Next is we need to execute. Right? Before I get into execution, I'll just repeat all the three important steps that we have done. So creation of, that is parameterization, involves three important activities. First is creation of data pool. Data pool is the location where I store my data set. Datapool, the name by itself is a candidate of RFT. It is not an external candidate. I need to create the data pool. I can create the data pool using project tool. Right, whichever project, select a project, click on right click, use add data pool. You can also do it with file, new data pool. So both are allowed. You can create it. Once you create a data pool, then you need to create data for that pool. First is we need to create a variable. Variable are the parameterization candidates. So variable we created now. We created how to create a variable, right click, add variable, insert variable. In case if you want to add a record, click insert a record. So this is the way I create a variable, I create a record to that variable. Save the file is very, very important. Make sure the file is saved. So we have saved the file. Next, I moved on to the script. Before I move on to the script, I selected the data pool to the left, associate the data pool to the script. Please note, we can have multiple data pools created for a project, but we cannot associate multiple data pools for a script. Only one data pool can be mapped to a script. So at any point of time, only one data pool is mapped to the script. We have associated the data pool to the script. Then I moved on to the .java file, that is parameterization.java in our case. Go to the candidate, nearest candidate which you want to change, and then use script find literals and replace. Right? Find literals and replace allows you to change the data set. Literals are all the static information as we understand within code. All the information within code are considered as literals. I choose that and replace the value. So you can always ask, can I replace the value by selecting the entire data? You can do that as well. So that is possible. We have done that. Once we have done it, we are now ready for execution. So before executing, now I need to decide how you want to execute. Do you like to execute for all the rows that is available in the data pool? Or you want to ensure for the first data, that is document India, you want to test that with that. Let us go back to the parameterization. Let me just run the script. Let us first run the script. Click on run. If you click on run, of course, I like to run the parameterization script. So parameterization is the log name for the that is fine. Select log. I say next. Now I'll ask for how you want to iterate through. Data pool iteration count. Right? So data pool iteration count, it shows me how you want to iterate through. In my case, I like to iterate now only one row. I don't want to iterate all. First I want to ensure that first row is selecting the data as per my wish. Right? So I am selecting the data now and then I select finish. So that means we are now ready to run. Before I do finish, I hope you are clear with creating a parameterization, that is data pool, associating the data pool to the script, creating data inside the data pool, saving the data pool, and then mapping the data using find literals. I hope is it clear to you. Anywhere you want me to repeat, please confirm this through chat so that if you want to repeat, I will repeat it. Because we have a short duration of class, it may not be possible for me to take up once we complete this task. Initially it might look difficult but very simple. Anybody wanted me to repeat? Please put it in the chat. I will repeat it. Or which portion you want me to repeat? I will do that. Right. So now I will proceed with the execution. So I now click on run. I select the last type, that is fine. Now I go to this Datapool iteration form and I can do it iterate until then. That means as many rows I have, I want to do it for all rows. I can do that. First is I will go with the one single data. Let me see whether it is able to do the job that we intended to do. Selected it, only one row I have selected, I finish. Now execution, it is starting the execution. You can